Corey here with the Art Archaeologist channel. So here's what I'm up to today. I've got all these baggies of leaves, and seeing as how it's now the middle of April and I haven't done a whole lot with my frozen leaves this year, I need to go ahead and use these up so that I can recycle and get some fresh ones at the end of this summer season. So I'm going to just do an eco dye today with vinegar, water, and rust. So I've got these leaves. Sorry for the camera shake. And then I've got this roasting pan that's all rusted out. It's used for nothing but eco dyeing and paper making, okay? And since I'm doing a lot of rust today, I'm going to go ahead and put on some gloves. Now, I get these little metal racks at the Dollar Tree. You get a pair of them for $1, so I picked up a few pairs of those, but I'm only going to need one pair today, okay? So then I've got a 4-cup, 32-ounce bottle of white distilled vinegar, and I got this at the Dollar Tree as well, and I'm probably going to use 2 to 3 cups of this in this batch. This is going to be a pretty big batch, so I'll probably be closer to 3 cups. Now here's my rusty bits that I've been collecting. These are all gears. You can get these at Michael's and they rust up beautifully, these little gears here. And these are all pieces from an erector set that I got at an auction. And I specifically got the set so that I could rust papers with it. Here's an old rusty hinge. I probably won't use this. I like to use stuff like this on my fabric because it tears the paper. And then I've got a bunch of keys in here too. So there's that. Now what I'm going to do is I just took 2 plain old pieces of watercolor paper. And I'm going to start layering with these. And I'm not going to show it all to you. I'll just do a couple pages. I got this little baggie of aspen leaves. And another tool you're going to need that I like to use is a squirt bottle. I like to squirt down my pages because once you get these all in here and weighted down really tight, sometimes the water can't get in there. So I just handle that by wetting it to begin with. And then that way it makes it easy for more water to seep in. So I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna let myself think too hard or too much. They've got these, the aspen trees have these little bushy things going on here, and I want to try to get rid of that because those are gonna tear the paper. And I'm just gonna throw them in the pan and deal with them later. This can be a very time-consuming process if you let it be, and I don't want it to be. I'm gonna leave that branch. Now I've got the watercolor paper. I'm doing one here on the bottom and I'm going to do one on the top. And then I like to use plain old copy, just printing paper, nothing fancy, nothing expensive, just the cheapo stuff you can buy at Walmart because the price is right for one thing, and if you're careful with it, it prints beautifully, and you've got automatic original journal pages. So we'll be doing that. So I've got all these aspen leaves here. Here's my top layer page. Then what I'm going to do is try to keep stuff contained. It's hard to do. All I'm going to do is just reach in here and drop some of these goodies on my pages. Okay? Because you're going to get two-sided prints on here. Dampen this page, and I'm just going to keep doing this until I get the whole thing done. And then when it's done, I'm going to take this top watercolor page, I'm going to stack it on top. Then I'm going to put this rack on top, and then I'm going to put a couple rocks on here to weigh this down. I'm going to fill it to where the water is over the top of the paper, and I'm going to put, like I said, 3 cups of vinegar in here. The vinegar helps all the rust and the dye from the leaves bind to the paper. That's why you really want to have vinegar. And so I'm going to do all this, and then I'm going to put it on my stove, and I just slap it on 2 burners, okay? Burner here, and I cook it on medium high until it comes to a very slight boil. And then I turn it down to warm. I do not want it boiling over. There's rust in here. I don't want rust all over my kitchen. So then I'm going to put it down on low warm, somewhere there. Let these sit for a few hours on the stove and cool down. After a few hours of getting soaked and saturated, I'm gonna dump the water out entirely and let these sit overnight. And then I will rinse them in the morning and come back and show you the finished product. So here's what I've got, and I wanted to tell you a couple things. I just put a couple rocks on here, and then these pieces, I didn't want these bigger pieces. I've got that door hinge in here. I didn't want these to tear the pages, but I still want them in here, so I forgot to mention that. And then now the leaves, I just take a big Ziploc baggie. I take a box of Ziploc baggies in the summertime and a squirt bottle, and I keep them in my truck. And I just collect my leaves, and I give them a good squirt to keep them nice and moist. And then when I get home, I seal up the bags, and I put them in my freezer. I put them in a Tupperware so they don't get smashed. And then I have leaves all winter. So here is what this looks like now. I've still got the grate on here, and your top and bottom papers usually come out really, really neat. So you have that to look forward to. I can't wait to see the inside of these. What I did was I cooked this for probably 3.5 hours actually. I went quite a long time. And then I turned the stove off and I just let it sit and totally cool off. And then I dumped out all the water and vinegar. And I'm going to let this sit overnight. So then I will show you the results. Okay, so here's these pages all dried and ironed now. The leaves didn't come out as good as I would have liked them to. I did get some leaf prints in here, as you will see soon. A few things could have been a factor. One, maybe the species of leaves I chose just don't have enough juice in them to make a good print. I doubt that's it. 2, I was using frozen leaves, and maybe that had messed with the chemical makeup of the pigments in the leaves, having them frozen in the winter. And I kind of doubt that that's the culprit as well. I think I didn't have my bundle tight enough. So I'm going to go ahead and make another batch just like this. And I'm going to tie those 2 metal grids I had around these. I'm going to tie those and secure them together. And when I do that next batch, since it's going to be so tight and I'm going to have a lot of stuff pushing on the paper, I'm going to go ahead and use Canson mixed media paper. And I did not spray these papers with alum either. I think the vinegar did a good job. The alum may be an unnecessary step. So when I do the next video, I'll let you know. So I'm going to go ahead and play some music now and just flip through these and let you take a look. Okay, this is the last of the copy paper, and I did get one hole here in this whole batch, which is phenomenal because the paper does go through quite a process, but look at how pretty this stuff is, and it's just perfect for journal pages, so it does work well. If you buy a kit of this and want to use it as journal pages, I would definitely print it on copy paper if it was me. So here's the two watercolor pieces that were at the top and the bottom of the grids. You get that really neat grid marking on here. I think it's pretty cool. I love how this page came out right here. It looks kind of like barbecued paper. So the grid didn't really translate through because this paper is so thick, which is great. Thanks so much for checking in with this Tips and Tutorials Tuesday video. And the link for these kits you will find below in the description box. Thanks again and have a great day.